Yeah, Patrick. Just want to see how fast you were with that thing. You do all right, you all right.
A trick like that could get you killed, Billy.
Matter of fact, you might even say I'd be kind of worried about which of us is the fastest.
Didn't you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. I'm just fooling around, just played a trick on you.
All these days you're going to pick the wrong time for fooling around.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, Patrick. But, what if I had a notion to push it to a showdown between us sometime? Then I remember how you got that gun out real fast and just might knock that fool notion right out of my head.
Yeah, just might. What are you doing down here anyway, Billy?
I was figuring I'm asking you the same thing.
Well, I'm here to deliver a prisoner to the Territorial prison in Tularosa.
I don't see one, unless you're figuring on delivering me.
Any reason I should? You didn't say why you were here.
Didn't I tell you that?
No.
Yeah. Well, I was riding into town today, and I heard some hard talk about how you might be facing trouble.
And you just figured how you might enjoy some trouble yourself.
Well, yeah, something like that.
Well, forget it, Billy. You're not paid to help me with my job.
Well, I didn't think you'd need any help anyway. So, see you back in Lincoln?
I'll be there.
You don't want me to hang around here you sure you don't?
I'm sure.
I...
Thanks anyway, Billy.
That you, Garrett?
Right, Marshal.
Get down.
It's been a few years, huh, Garrett?
That's right, Rees.
You wish you was still a few more, don't you?
Climb down, fella. We ain't got all night.
Oh, you haven't changed much, Garrett. Except for that.
He's all yours from here on.
Run into any trouble?
No, but that ain't no indication that you won't. Healing's been running pretty high about him getting off too easy.
Did you hear that, Garrett? 10 years in that stinking territorial prison isn't enough for killing a human skunk.
If it's all right with you, Sheriff, I'll be getting home. I got a long ride ahead of me.
Sure, Marshal. All right, Rees.
That ought to make your job a lot easier, Garrett.
What are you talking about?
In case you don't know it, that gentleman intends to kill me.
do we get to Tularosa?
About 4 hours. There's one stop first at Oro Grande.
Yes, I know.
Who is he?
You should know Max Bragg. I shot his brother.
I sure wouldn't want your job, Sheriff.
I feel the same way sometimes. But why this time in particular?
10 years in prison ain't much for murdering a man like Jim Bragg.
Well, you should have been on the jury.
Jim Bragg had a lot of friends.
Well, if you run into any of them on this train, let me know.
Not me. I'm staying out of this.
Things happen in a funny way, don't they, Garrett? You must enjoy seeing me like this.
There was a time when I'd rather have seen you dead, Rees.
10 years isn't enough time for you either, is it, Pat?
My only interest in you is getting you to Tularosa. Past is gone.
Come on. You hate my guts, Garrett, and you know it. A few years ago, you'd have gunned me down on sight.
That was a few years ago. Now you're just part of my job.
Sure. And they had to twist your arm to get you to take it, didn't they? You don't want to see me get off with a 10-year sentence any more than Max Bragg does. Well, you know something? To me, 10 years in a stinking jail is worse than a hanging. I'd rather be dead. And I just might get you riled up enough that you do it yourself. That is, if Mr. Bragg doesn't beat you to it. I figure it'll happen when we're stopped at Oro Grande. Still the same Lobo habits, I guess. Man never loses them, does he? They hang on like hate.
I told you that what was between us is dead, Rees.
You're a fool if you believe that.
You're a fool to push it, Rees.
You really mean that, don't you? I stopped running from you a long time ago, Pat. I even went looking for you one time just to end it quick. She probably won't believe that. Sometimes I don't believe it myself.
I know you murdered a man named Bragg. That was a stupid thing to do. And I never thought you were a stupid man.
We found a place, a good place. Water, grass. I filed a land patent on it. I even built a house with my own hands. After Joanne died, I went back there. Maybe it was because I figured that was the one place you wouldn't look for me. Maybe it was because it meant something special to me, which you wouldn't believe either. Bragg owned most of the range around my homestead, wanted the water. Most nesters will run when a cattleman pushes them. I didn't. But Mr. Bragg was a hard man to convince. Finally, the time came when I had to push back hard. I called him out and killed him with one shot.
Witnesses at the trial said he wasn't packing a gun.
They told the truth, which was tough luck for Mr. Bragg.
I figured it was your tough luck, too, Rees. Shut up, Reese.
Well, I like it. What'd they call it? Oh, yeah, My True Love Sleeps. They used to play that a lot at the dances on Saturday up at Rath's store, Double Creek Mountain. Remember? Maybe you'd rather forget how a better man stole your girl. Now, there's no doubt where we stand, is there, Pat?
It never has been, Reese.
Why are you going to let him kill me?
If I wanted that, I'd do it myself.
Because I married her?
Because she died alone. I was in Tucson when I heard about it. I was told that you had left her alone to shift for herself on a dirt farm that was too poor to keep a dog alive. She was sick. You didn't know or you didn't care. Reese, I spent the next 2 years looking for you. If I'd have found you, I'd have gunned you down the same way you killed Jim Bragg.
And what's stopping you now?
You wouldn't understand it, Reese.
Sorry to disappoint you, Sheriff.
Yes, I'll bet you are. I'm telling you this just once. You stay out of this.
I can't do that, Sheriff.
They'll bury you with your brother if you argue with Garrett.
I got no quarrel with you, Garrett.
Not yet.
You didn't know my brother. You wouldn't feel this way if you had. He walked the way a man should. He spent 20 years building what he had. And a cowardly killer ended it in 1 second. He was hard, but he was fair. It's over for him, but not for his wife and kids.
Reese was found guilty and sentenced for what he did.
10 years for wiping out a man's life. You call that justice?
The judge did.
I don't. Reese won't get to the Territorial prison alive.
Ora grande. There'll be a 5-minute stop, folks.
There's a fellow that wants me dead almost as much as you do, Pat.
Got it? Keep it for the time being.
Bragg just got off long enough to pick up reinforcements. Why draw things out? Why not turn me over to him now? That'd square things, wouldn't it?
You're going to prison, Reese.
Sure. While you stand up against 3 guns, making sure I do. Makes sense, Garrett.
I said you wouldn't understand. It's my job.
What happened? I don't know. Something on the tracks, maybe.
Get your head out of that window.
What happened?
You see the conductor?
I saw a man wearing his clothes, but it wasn't Joe.
All right, get this train moving. If you want to kill Reese, do you want it badly enough to die for the privilege?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You pay that conductor for making a try at him.
Prove it.
I don't have to prove it to myself. Next time I shoot, I'll pick you first.
Killed that conductor, why didn't he?
Because you aren't worth it.
Years ago, we fought the same Comanches, slept on the same ground, loved the same woman.
That's enough.
What makes you better than me? If you'd have been in my place, you'd have gunned down Jim Bragg the same as I did.
No, it isn't quite the same. Jim Bragg never had a chance.
He needed killing.
Maybe that's the difference between us, Reese. I go by the rules when I can.
I always make my own rules. And so did you once. Tell me, in 4 years, how did you get small enough to hide behind that badge?
Reese, maybe it took a little bit of growing.
I suppose I'm supposed to thank you for saving my skin.
You're just another prisoner.
Yeah, that's what you keep telling me. Well, maybe I do owe you something. There's one thing you ought to get straight about Joanne.
Don't push me, Reese.
Now, I'm not asking you to believe it. You probably won't, but it's true. Joanne was sick when we were married. We both knew it. And I was trying to earn enough money to get her well when she died.
Not yet. We'll get off ahead of him at Tularosa.
They'll probably try it when we get off at Tularosa. Anybody meeting us?
We're by the station house. Tight cover the far end.
And you people stay here. Take cover. Come on, sit down. A man has a right to defend himself.
to run for it.
Frank.
I figured it would end up this way between us, Pat.
It ended between us a long time ago, Rees. Give me that gun.
Let's get it over with.
Hey, Patrick. Well, you're working for the railroad now, huh?
Billy, what are you doing here?
Tundle bought some breed stock down near El Paso, and I'm picking them up for him. Yeah, I've been hearing about that fella you took in.
Dan Rees.
I should have hung him in the first place, Patrick. Saved you all that trouble. Reese, he's one of those fellas born to hang.
Dan Rees was a lot like you, Billy. Liked to make his own rules.
No one will ever hang me, Patrick.